it is about simplicity. Simplicity. We really complicate things. Hello and welcome. My name is Amy, and I'm very grateful to have you here with me today. I love talking about spirituality, energy healing, and our journey as humans to connect deeper to that within each of us. If this is your first time, thank you so much for being here. If you've been here before, I am so glad to have you back with me. This morning, I woke up knowing I was going to film and feeling like I had a lot of different ideas, and that's kind of because I've been so busy. And so it can take a moment for me to just quiet and tune into what is going to be the most helpful. So what I did actually was, after my meditation, I did a little channeling, and what came up was about simplifying. I was thinking about it with the throat chakra. I'm going to use this one as an example. Overall, the general message was that we need to focus more on what to do rather than what not to do. So let me explain this a little bit more. For me, for example, when I first started focusing on clearing my throat chakra, I spent a lot of time figuring out what are my blocks, what is still there in my way, stopping me from connecting, stopping me from certain experiences. And although this is important and there is value to this, absolutely, because there are some things that we really do have to look at. However, what we need to spend more time on also is what we need to do in the positive sense. Your throat chakra is all about communication and how you are showing up in the world in that way. We can communicate in so many different ways, not just vocally. So you can communicate through art, through creativity, through painting, through singing, through drawing, through cooking, so many ways. And so when you are focusing on clearing or balancing or just giving a little refresh to any of your chakras, focus more on the things that make you feel good, that are connected to them. Like the things I mentioned, the creative aspects when it comes to your throat chakra. I started a little Etsy store. I started it after a significant loss. And honestly, I did not plan it. It was not a logical thing. I just found myself in my little studio space in my basement creating things I hadn't done in years since I was a little girl. I had my sewing machine out again. I was using paper mache, and I started making so much that I thought, I'm going to create this Etsy store because I have so much at this point, and people I knew were asking for it. This has been so healing for me. And the feedback I get is that people can pick that energy up. And I love that. And I feel it is a way of me being able to literally communicate through my hands, through my throat chakra. And it's all coming through in ways that we don't necessarily see as throat chakra healing, but it absolutely is. And just recently, I have had quite a few people tell me that my energy seems so much lighter, so much happier, and I attribute so much of it to being so focused on just following my instincts, like the creativity, my creative projects. Like this is a huge creative project for me, and I love it, and what a great form of communicating. So as important as it is, and I do a lot of work around this, to look at what could block you, you really need to also focus on what is going to bring you joy and light you up. What are the positive things? Because we not only need to remove the blocks, but we need to fill it with the aspects that feel really good. And in order to raise your alignment and your vibration, that happens through connecting to the things that feel really good. In order to raise your vibration, you need to do things that are at a higher vibration. Another thing that has been working for me, and I think works for so many people, even if they're not conscious of it, is singing. Even if this is just singing alone in your car, humming along to a song, singing is so powerful. And having the actual vibration come from our throats is also a form of healing and clearing. What's great about singing is that it is healing and clearing, but it is also making you feel really good. And keep in mind that you want to listen to music that is uplifting, that makes you feel good. listening to a lot of breakup songs during a breakup is not necessarily going to raise your vibration. It is for sure going to lower it. That is another thing of just making really conscious decisions on what you're choosing to bring in to feel better versus choosing things that wouldn't feel so good. I was recently told to clear my throat chakra to listen to drumming music, which I've been doing, and I realize as I've been listening to it so much, I was already listening to it, but I just knew that was why I had been drawn to it. You can actually feel the vibration, especially if you're listening with headphones on. And that vibration is literally clearing and cleansing. Years ago, when I was doing my yoga teacher training, I went to a workshop that was sound healing. The gentleman running it used a didgeridoo, and I had never experienced that before. It was a meditation where he was using that as the sound healing. I remember laying there halfway through this meditation, and all of a sudden, and it's silent in there, no one's talking, everyone's laying down in a meditative state, and the only noise is this didgeridoo. And all of a sudden, I can hear this chatter around me, as if I was in a space where everybody was talking, so you couldn't hear one specific conversation, but you could tell everyone around you was talking. I actually had to lift my eye mask to see, am I imagining this? What is going on right now? And I know now that was a form of clairaudience, and I was able to actually tune into the energies around me that are beyond the 3D. And this was because of that sound healing. Sound healing is so powerful. I also would encourage you, if that's something you're interested in, to listen to music that doesn't have any words, because we can get really caught up in the words sometimes. So just having literal sound healing music on. I really like to go to Insight Timer. You can find it on Spotify, but that can be so good for you. Kind of giving these different examples of what can help clear, what can help just feel good. It's really about connecting to what feels good to you, learning what you may need to focus on to actually remove blocks, and simplifying that. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't feel like you need to do all of this work in order to unblock. Sometimes it is simply becoming aware of what that block is. And something that I find very important to communicate, because this is not said too much, you can do this yourself. Yes, it feels so good to work with somebody who is an energy healer or a channeler or a medium, whatever that is. And I do it myself quite often. I love it. I love the connection. But I also want to encourage you that if you take the time and set the intention to sit down, to get quiet with yourself every day, even for just a few minutes, to meditate, to tune in, to really set that intention to clear these blocks, whether they are blocks that are current, whether they are blocks that came into this lifetime with you, whatever that is, just continue to set an intention, an affirmation around it even, and trust and know that you have just as much power as anybody who can help you with this. Again, there is a time and place for everything, and working with other healers can be so powerful as well, especially because we all have our special gifts we bring. But I just want you to know that there are not people who have gifts and don't. We are all spiritual beings having this human experience. We all have spiritual gifts. We all have spiritual connection that is possible for us, but it can be really hard to connect to that when we're not aware of it or when we haven't been focused on it very much. Mine continue to unfold and continue to deepen, and that is because I am very devoted to this unfolding and this experience. If you believe and you know that you can do so much of this unblocking yourself, you will start to feel the difference. I think people can get really caught up in not getting started because they think it's going to be really challenging and just feels really impossible. Like there's so many things that have to be done in order to see any results. But I just really want to encourage you that that is not true. It feels that way, and it certainly feels that way if we are listening to what others might say about a topic as a whole. just simplifying, just setting an intention every day, just being more conscious and aware of how you're feeling, how you're responding, how you are complicating or simplifying different topics. Maybe today you find or listen to or create a playlist that is filled with a few songs even that bring you joy. Put that playlist on, even if you're in a really bad mood, especially then put it on and just let yourself listen to this music. Maybe you even dance a little bit. Maybe you just shimmy your shoulders a little bit, but just allow yourself to do such a simple act of kindness for you that will help you feel more aligned, that will help you expand in a positive way your throat chakra and your alignment. You don't have to wait until a beautiful healing session with someone. You don't have to wait until you're in a better mood. You don't have to wait until you're not so busy. It can be in any moment of you just tuning in and setting that intention. So I just want to thank you so much for being here with me and being a part of these conversations. We are all creating this space together. I know for me, with all of the challenging things going on in life and in my personal life, it is so nice to have a place that I can come to and talk about these topics that for me are the most authentic and substantial, meaningful, just really real topics and conversations that can be hard to have with a lot of people. Not everybody wants to have conversations around things like this, but I know that you can feel so much of that energy as well since you're here, and how amazing and powerful it is to connect with other like-minded people, especially when perhaps you're having a hard time connecting to it, or you just need a little inspiration, a little reminder, or that feeling of like, oh my gosh, we are in this together and this feels awesome. I look forward to chatting with you next time. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel, giving me a thumbs up. This helps me so much, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.